What's good, my lovely peoples? It's your main man Solace here, the humble wise one. If you're tuning in, this is Searching for Lies, Episode 2, the Masonic Brotherhood in the 33rd degree. So, what I'm going to be discussing is what is the significance in the number 33 when dealing with the Masons? And it's a deep thing I want y'all to grasp. Now, for those of you that's viewing and you've never heard of a Mason before, don't worry, it's okay. Because there's a lot of people who speak on the Masons and they don't know anything either. So you have to grasp. You never hear the Masons speaking on what it is that they are, etc., etc. You only hear people that's not a part speaking. So if you don't know what a Mason is, don't worry, it's okay. Whoever you heard speaking on it, if you ever have, they didn't know either. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Now, you had Masons that date back way far. This thing goes back, I think it goes back before George Washington. But George Washington was a Mason. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Now you have Masons today, but they ain't the same Mason that George Washington was. So you have to understand, once things splinter off and you get different sets and things of this nature, knowledge and all types of things is lost when that happens. So Masons you may see today, they're not all truly apart. You know, everything has its footstools and things of this nature. So even a basketball team has a mascot. So you could say a lot of people that are Masons today, they like the mascots of what the organization truly is. And they're just apart from that aspect. But of course, they don't know this. They think they're a Mason. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. But for those who may not know what a Mason is, let me explain. The Masonic Brotherhood is basically a mystery school, an organization that deals with teaching the secrets and the knowledge that's not known to the common man. So you have all types of knowledge. And it's just like you do when you're dealing with a child. You don't tell a child everything about everything because they're a child and they'll indulge in whatever you tell them. And without the proper knowledge and understanding of the cause and effect of things, a child don't have no business indulging in anything. So this is how the Masonic Brotherhood is. You have a whole bunch of knowledge in this life. Common man knows what he knows out of that knowledge. And then you have others who know more. So this is where the mystery schools come from. Now this is all the secret society organizations that we have. So you have different ones, but you know they all branched off from one. But in a nutshell, that's what the Masonic Brotherhood would be. You can say it's a school or a fraternity that deals with the secret knowledge of the life. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Because when you're a part of this organization, you're going up through your levels, which is called degrees. And basically, each level is a certain amount of knowledge you acquired. So it's like school. You learn a certain amount and then you graduate to the next degree or grade. Now, the ending grade would be the 33rd degree. So you want to strive, if you're a Mason, to be a 33rd degree Mason. Now, there's talks and rumors of there being higher degrees of the Masonic order. But to all in a nutshell, the 33rd degree is the goal. But the question is, what is the 33rd degree? Why is that so significant? Why didn't it just go 1 through 10 and 10 be? So you got to grasp. What's the significance in the 33rd degree? Because I don't believe they go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 33. I think it's like 5 degree and I'm not sure exactly how it goes. I'm not a Mason. I know Masons. I have close friends that are Masons. But I'm real. I don't indulge in people's personal things. It's a secret society. That's their thing. If it's a secret society, it's no need on me plucking and axing. But when you're around certain things and you hear things and things are told to me, but I'm not going into detail about that. It's irrelevant. The main point of the video is, what is the significance in the number 33? Now I want y'all to grasp, the number 33 is basically 1/3. So it's a simple thing you have to grasp. 1/3 is basically 33. So 33.33 is a third of 100. 33rd degree, a third. So this is what the 33 represents. It represents a third. But it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. Now, a 33rd or a third, this would be the highest level of knowledge that a Mason can get. So basically, we have 33 equaling a third. Now, what's so special about a third? The fallen angels. So you have to grasp, a third of the stars up above are the heavenly bodies. The fallen angels fell from their heavenly estate, came to earth. We all heard the story in the Bible and many other texts that deal with the Bible, whether it be the Apocrypha or whatever. But we know Satan took a third of the angels down to earth with him when he fell from grace. And this is what the 33 is significance are. This is what the 33 correlates to. It correlates to the fallen angels and a third that fell. Now I know a lot of y'all are like, I don't understand. How is the Masonic Brotherhood dealing with knowledge got to do with the fallen angels? And it's a simple thing. Because when you're talking about knowledge, all knowledge, according to creation stories of this existence, starts with the fallen angels. So all the things that men know, according to texts, is because of these fallen angels. Now in different texts you have different names, so you don't have to get lost into that. If you're into the Enuma Elish, the Anunnaki. If you're into Kemetic, the Ennead, however you want to view it. But the fallen, we dealing with the Masonic Brotherhood. And they kind of deal with Christianity and all the things in a nutshell. They kind of get knowledge on them all. But it's significant. It is significant, and it correlates to the fallen angels, because when you're talking about the fallen angels, you're dealing with knowledge. They supposedly taught man the understandings of the things that got us lost. Now, it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. I want y'all to grasp, because you have a whole bunch of fallen angels. Basically, you can say you had 200 watchers. Now, what are watchers? It basically means the awakened. So when you hear like the Illuminati and all these different things, and it's speaking of being awake and awakened, the enlightened ones, this is speaking of that, the fallen angels. They were called the watchers, and that is what that means, the awakened. So it's a simple thing. You have to be awake to watch. And it's a deep thing. Now you had 200 of these watchers, and you had 10 leaders, if I'm not mistaken. And each 10 was over 10. You had 20 leaders, and each one was over 10. Now, I'm not going to go into all 20, but I want to go into the things that they taught men. So I'll name a few. Now, the names get tangled and mixed and merged in over time, so don't get lost in the names. You may have heard a different name attached to what was taught. I don't want you to get lost in that. because there is no accurate name. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. But I want to go into it. So now the first one I want to go into is Shemyaza. Now Shemyaza was viewed as the leader of all the Watchers. So you had 20 leaders in charge of 10, and Shemyaza would have been in charge of them all. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Now Shemyaza taught enchantments and the cutting of the root. Grasp. He taught enchantments and the cutting of the root to men. Now what is that? Well, we know enchantments is like, you can say voodoo in a sense. In the cutting of the root, this would be like the different medicines that we have. Basically chemistry. He taught them chemistry and how to mix and mingle the different plants and roots of it to get medicines and the different things we have, the psychedelic effects, and he basically taught them chemistry on its deepest levels. That's why I say enchantment and the cutting of the root, because this is all that chemistry or voodoo and those type of things. That's all that is. It's the understandings of the chemical effects of one thing when you mix it with the next. So he basically, in a nutshell, taught them voodoo, you can say. But we don't like that word. So let's just say he taught them chemistry. Now you have Amaros. You may have heard him by a different name. But you have Amaros, really pronounced Armeros. Now, he taught curse lifting. So he basically taught the reverse of what Shemyaza taught. So Shemyaza taught chemistry, and you can put a curse on someone through chemistry. So Amaros basically taught the reversing of what Shemyaza taught. So if a curse was put on you, Amaros taught them how to reverse it. Then after him, you have Azazel. Now, I'm not telling it to you in any order, so I'm just giving you the knowledge that was given to men according to the text. Now, Azazel, he taught men how to fashion metals in arts and crafts. So in a nutshell, Azazel basically taught men how to make weapons, swords, knives, things of this fashion metal. Whatever you see that's metal, he had the understandings of how to work it. So he taught them all there was to know about metals. And I say arts and crafts because you figure when you're dealing with metals, everything doesn't necessarily have to be a weapon. So you have jewelry that's metals. So this is what I mean by the arts and crafts. He taught them everything, the ins and outs of metal, whether it be for weapon making, for jewelry, whatever the case may be. Like you have cesium. This is a metal, but it explodes when it comes into contact with oxygen. So he taught them everything about metal. So I don't want y'all to just undermine it and say, okay, he taught them metal. But he taught them the deep, everything in depth about metal that you can know. Where man can lose himself. He make knives, everything. Whatever you can think of. Jewelry and all these things. This leads to status and pride, and all these things that are taught, they have their effect. Now, you have Gadriel. This is the fourth. He taught men cosmetics and the dyeing of the eyelids. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. He basically taught how to pretty yourself up. Whether man or woman, he taught, makeup and how to doll baby yourself up and look attractive to another person. So you figure, if we don't wake up, wash our face, comb our hair, and put an effort into looking good, others go further. They put makeup on and cover up whatever blemishes they may have and make themselves look perfect. So he taught this, and in that, you get lust and desire, because now people are looking at one another and lusting sexually, like, oh my God, voluptuous, not voluptuous, but the seducing nature of things when you're dealing with beauty and all that comes with it, desire and lust, and this is what that leads to. Now you have the fifth, Arachiel, and he taught the signs of the land. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. He basically taught growing food, geography, how to flatten out the land for building and things of this nature. So he basically taught all the signs of the land, how to grow food, soil, basically taught them these things. Then you have Ezekiel, and he taught the signs of the clouds. So this would be meteorology. Basically taught men how to read the clouds, knowing when there's going to be rain, snow, hurricanes, all these type of things. So Ezekiel basically broke down what we would call today the newsman. He had knowledge of weather. He was a meteorologist, in a sense you can say, and he brought all the knowledge that deals with that in depth. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Now, the seventh is Barachiel, and he taught the signs of the stars. So this would be like astrology and the different seasons that we go through and things of this nature. He taught that. Then you have Kokabel. He taught the pattern of the stars, meaning constellations and that aspect of astrology. He taught men these things. Then you have Shemshiel. He taught the signs of the moon and the pathway of it. So you're dealing with like solar eclipses and things. So you know how we have solar eclipses and those who have knowledge on it, then they tell us when to watch it and things of this nature. So he taught them these things. Then you have Penemu. Penemu taught the secrets of wisdom, which would be like magic. But I'm sure it was the trick magic that we have today, but the deep magic, you know, the magic that we call bad, like voodoo and dark magic and cursing spells, and basically the same thing Shemyaza taught, he taught that also. But he taught the tricks that we have, the entertainment aspect of magic, as well as the dark magic where you summoning up demons and things of this nature. So he taught that. So he didn't teach what Shemyaza taught. Shemyaza, in a sense, taught like chemistry, which is similar, but Penemu basically taught like the summoning up of the demons and things of this nature, the evil spirits. Shemyaza was just teaching more or less the cutting of the root. You can use that for healing, killing, whatever. Chemistry. So it's a deep thing. Penemu taught that. He also taught how to kill the baby in the womb. Abortion, basically. Now, I don't want y'all to undermine these things because abortion is a deep thing you have to grasp. When a woman gets pregnant, her and the baby kind of are one. So how would a woman kill the baby and not herself? You got to think, if there's no abortion clinic, how would you kill the baby and not yourself? See, if you stab the belly, you're stabbing yourself. You'll die too. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Whatever you do, it's going to bring harm to you before the baby because the baby is within you. So how would a woman get rid of the baby without killing herself also? Is the question I'm sure all ancient people had when they were getting pregnant. I'm sure you had back in the day women getting pregnant that didn't want the baby. But now how do you get rid of the baby and not get rid of yourself in the process? So that knowledge that was taught is a deep thing. So Penemu basically taught men how to abort the baby and things of this nature. Now all the things I named, there were more. In pretty much every aspect of things that we know came from the fallen. And that's the deep thing I want y'all to grasp. Because when you're dealing with the Masonic Brotherhood in the 33rd degree, the 33rd degree correlates with the third. That's the whole point of 33rd. So you figure it's really the third degree. a third degree, but they just say 33rd degree. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp, because that 1/3 is representing the fallen angels. Now, people who are Masons may not even know that their organization is based on that. Meaning they may not know that the 33rd correlates to 1/3 of the angels that fell from heaven. They may have no clue of that. But we all know what 33 is. If you think in depth on it, it represents a third. And there's only one thing in this life that we know that represents a third. Dealing with knowledge. When you're dealing with knowledge, you're talking about the fallen angels and the third that fell. And they brought this knowledge down to man, making man lose their fucking minds. So you have to grasp, the fallen angels only deal with knowledge. And the Masons is basically a mystery school of knowledge. So you have to grasp, this is why the 33rd degree is significant. Now, a lot of y'all may be like, what's the real true point? The real true point is all these secret societies and religions that y'all are in, they all worship Satan. In a nutshell. Because it's like I said, this is hell. And y'all have to grasp, everything that's worshipped or that y'all are a part of, it has to do with things that happened after that fallen angel story, or whatever story you want to call it. So all the things that we have here, people are truly worshiping lostness and have no clue on it. We think the more that we know, the better off we'll be. Not realizing the more what we're learning is physical things, and the more you learn, the more ways you have to lose yourself. So it's like a baby. A baby don't really get lost. They don't know much. But this is good because they don't have much to get into to bring harm to themselves and stress and strain and things like this. So the more you learn, the more pride in things you begin to get. See, babies don't have pride, but as they begin to get older and they age, pride starts to come. And then they start to understand and notice status, and this is better than that. Then you start to, it's a deep thing. But all these understandings and knowledge that the fallen brought, they all had their effect on the life. You can't just teach a person chemistry and think, oh, that's it. I taught them chemistry. You don't know what their spirit is. You taught them chemistry. Now they're going around giving people diseases and things like this because they have understandings on, if I mix this with this, I can have this effect. So you're not just teaching a person something when you're teaching them. This is why when you go in depth on anything, you have to know a person's spirit. This is why when I teach online like this, I don't ever go in deep, in depth, where I'm telling you, like, it's a deep thing. I give you the knowledge to understand that what a thing is. Now, to go to path is for you. Anybody that truly wants the knowledge, they'll follow whoever they heard it from, meaning get it from them. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. But Christianity, Islam, all these different things that we have, they're all the same. They're worshiping evilness. But don't realize. Christians don't realize that that is basically lost man thing. Everybody's just into what they're into, and theirs is right and everybody else's is wrong. So to Christianity, I'm right in what I'm saying, except when it in regards to them. They don't have nothing to do with the lostness. And it's the same with someone who's a Muslim. Everything I said is right, meaning everybody is lost in worshiping the devil, except for them. They got it right. And this is how every religion and organization is. They'll agree with what I just said, meaning everyone worships the devil, except them. I got it wrong when it comes to them. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp, but everybody is. And this is why understandings is very important, because if you don't have true understandings of life, you'll be following the goddamn devil and don't even know it. It's your main man, Solace. That was episode 2 of Searching for Lies. Y'all be groovy.